What's up, basketball fans? Welcome to the Rats Report. It is time to talk about the Toronto Raptors yet once again because we got some major news to discuss. Just about 30 minutes ago, there was some news dropped about the Toronto Raptors facilitating a three-team deal. And not only that, they will continue to add a very significant piece to this roster who I will break down in today's video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Also turn on the notifications as well. I'm coming out with videos every single day, and you want to be notified every time a video is uploaded. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. Now, as you guys know, I do like to give out shout outs on my channel, and the shout out for today's video goes out to Bibsly99. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. For your likes and comments, it is very much appreciated. Now, there were two different sources reporting that the Toronto Raptors could be looking to facilitate a three-team deal. This was being reported on Twitter first by Barry Jackson, who was reporting, and Mark Stein now reports expectation is Toronto will try to facilitate to get Andrew Wiggins. If Heat can get 3 or 4 expiring contracts and maybe a pick that rids themselves of a headache and eliminates chance of Butler opting in this July, this is the simplest path if all three teams move forward. And not only that, but Evan Sidey was also reporting a similar thing, that the Raptors are attempting to help facilitate a Jimmy Butler trade between the Warriors and the Heat in order to acquire Andrew Wiggins, according to Mark Stein. And of course, Bruce Brown's $23 million expiring contract would be going to Miami in this potential framework. Now, this is absolutely massive because we heard news about this a couple of days ago, but there's more reports coming out about the Toronto Raptors wanting Andrew Wiggins. It's one thing to help facilitate a trade, but it seems like the Toronto Raptors are very, very interested in bringing Andrew Wiggins to the Toronto Raptors. Now, for those that may be confused, the Raptors clearly need a small forward that can play the a little bit, not a little bit. He does play very good defense as well. But again, he shoots the three-point ball very well. But also, when we talk about adding to this roster, what you need immediately is someone that can give you 17, 20 points every night. And that is Andrew Wiggins. He can rebound the ball. He'll get you a steal a game as well and shoot very, very well from the three-point line. And that is why the Raptors are trying to get Andrew Wiggins. But most importantly, when we talk about three-team deals, usually teams are rewarded to take on bigger contracts like Andrew Wiggins. And there's a reason why the Miami Heat do not want to take on Andrew Wiggins. That is simply because they want to keep their salary cap open for this free agency. I'm sure they'll go out and sign a couple of guys they really have in mind. But in terms of the Toronto Raptors, will they get compensated? It's very likely a chance they do. Maybe they get Andrew Wiggins and a couple second round picks, which, if you ask me, for a Bruce Brown trade, that is absolutely amazing. I mean, when we talk about Bruce Brown's $23 million, a lot of the discussions that were had leading up to today, not today's NBA trade deadline, but this week's NBA trade deadline in 5 days, was that no one wants to take on Bruce Brown's contract. Now, if the Raptors somehow manage to pull this off, this looks like an absolutely amazing move for the Toronto Raptors, considering that $23 million is a lot to take on, but it is an expiring contract. This is where it absolutely worked out. I don't know if Masai planned it this way or just happened to work out this way, but this ends up being one of those moves. If it goes through and if a trade does happen, it's going to be looked at one of those moves that was absolutely significant for the Toronto Raptors. Now, what does this mean for the Toronto Raptors? A lot of people were wondering and telling me that RJ Barrett, Andrew Wiggins, two Canadian guys, this is going to be amazing. But I think the next news we're about to break down here for you actually signals more towards RJ Barrett not being a Toronto Raptor for the long-term future. Now, the Raptors weren't done in the rumor mill. Real GM was reporting Raptors looking to facilitate Jimmy Butler deal, which we've heard about, but they are still pursuing Brandon Ingram trade as well. And the article went on to say, with the Warriors reportedly still considering a deal for Jimmy Butler, the Raptors could take Andrew Wiggins' contract while sending Bruce Brown to the Heat. The Heat have previously registered interest in Bruce Brown, also looking to add a significant piece next to Scottie Barnes. The Raptors are continuing to pursue a potential trade for Brandon Ingram. Now, I know what everyone is thinking. Where are the Raptors going to find the money to acquire Brandon Ingram once they send out Bruce Brown's $23 million expiring contract? Unfortunately, all signs point to RJ Barrett, and this is exactly what I was suggesting in my 2 videos ago when I talked about the Raptors being interested in Brandon Ingram. Sure, you could make the argument that you could, include Bruce Brown, Chris Boucher, that financial deal works in terms of making the money work. But again, if we're talking about Bruce Brown going in a 3-team trade and the Raptors receiving Andrew Wiggins, where's that money going to come from? Unfortunately, it is for RJ Barrett. And this is what I talked about when we talk about the Raptors possibly not wanting to invest in RJ for the near future. He's still got a couple of years left under his contract, but considering the salary cap implications that may have for the futures, and just in considering where the Raptors are at the moment and what they need in terms of scoring, in terms of team needs, they need defense, which they would get in Andrew Wiggins. So for a Toronto Raptors team to get both Andrew Wiggins and Brandon Ingram would be absolutely significant. Again, it wouldn't just have to be RJ Barrett included in that contract for Brandon Ingram. You'd probably have to send out Chris Boucher as well, and then probably receive another player back to make the money work on both ends. But very fascinating news. Again, Andrew Wiggins would be excellent for the Toronto Raptors for a simple reason that he plays defense. And if you forget about his money that he's making right now just for a moment and think more futuristic when we talk about players that are making 50, 60, 70 million dollars in the next season or two, all of a sudden Andrew Wiggins' contract is going to look like a steal, but also in terms of help facilitating future trades as well. When we talk about the Raptors, eventually they will need that superstar player to pair up with Scotty Barnes. That's where Andrew Wiggins comes in. And when we talk about wing players around the NBA, there's certain positions that will always hold a lot of value around the NBA. And one of the most important positions is the small forward position. And no other team knows that better than the Toronto Raptors, who are, of course, trying to move off of OG and Anunoby for several seasons. There were probably half the league was interested in that small forward position because OG was a great defender. And even though Andrew may be a little bit older, not on the same level in terms of defensive impact as OG and Anunoby, every team would love to have Andrew Wiggins in a season or two when his contract looks a lot better compared to some of the other deals. But what are your thoughts on this? Do you think it makes sense for the Toronto Raptors to acquire both Andrew Wiggins and Brandon Ingram, or would you just be happy with one or the other? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, I do have a trivia question for you today. And that trivia question is, which city was Andrew Wiggins born in? Was it A, Toronto? Was it B, Surrey? Was it C, Hamilton? Or was it D, Mississauga? So whoever answers this trivia question correctly first in the comment section gets a shout out in my next video. And also, guys, make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. My Instagram got hacked a few years ago. I never really followed up with it. I do have an account. I'll link that. Make sure to subscribe and to this channel as well if you haven't already. And make sure to turn on the notification bell for every single video I upload to provide consistent rumor updates regarding the Toronto Raptors. So that will be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.